Well, thanks for being here, Julian. You want to introduce yourself?
Sanjib, thank you for having me. Yes, I'm Julián Huertas. I'm the relationship manager of Zulu. Zulu is a cross-border payment company based in Bogota, Colombia. We're actually a US LLC, but we have our headquarters in Colombia because we are helping small and medium-sized businesses in Latin America with their cross-border payments. So a little bit of my background, I study history and then I work as a journalist and I coverage the Congress. And in the Congress, I met a guy that was involving in all the fintech industry, in all the fintech regulatory place. And then he called me like, come here, work with me. And then I go in through the fintech industry in Colombia, in Latin America. And then I met Esteban, the CEO of Zulu, and he just like, come here, I want to create Zulu with you. So Zulu is like the story of two Colombian entrepreneurs that came here to the US and raised $5 million. And they go back to Colombia and they started at first as a wallet for saving the US dollars, but then they pivot the business something just in the B2B place. So like they're trying to help, and we are trying to help the businesses to do their cross-border payments.
What was the trigger for for that pivot?
Because in that moment the founders see that it was like a marketing war. The most you invest in marketing, you are going to win. So they say like that is going to take all our money, and we're just looking for clients, but we're creating any infrastructure, just looking for clients to like open accounts, open accounts, open accounts. So they decided to like, we're going to create the infrastructure for the payments, not only looking for clients and something like B2C that it's always hard to, yeah. So like the people were like opening their accounts, but you have to pay the onboarding to your provider, but they're not using the app because there's something very new that they don't understand. Why can I have like a US wallet that, yeah, and that's hard. So they decided to do the B2B part and just onboard companies, traditional companies, and like learning how to do cross-border payments in a different, like I said, an alternative of the traditional trading desk of the banks.
Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me try to restate it. Is it a case where, your Zulu decided that just being a distribution arm of some other technology was going to be not as interesting as building something like a core technology? Or
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. You seen the way that you're going to win if you have your own infrastructure to do payments. So that's the reason that we are here, that we came to the New Year Fintech Week this week, and that we go to the Fintech Meetup event, that we go to Money 2020 to other events. Is that you see that in the US are like the right people to build something that we can own.
yeah,
So yeah, here are the banks, here are the technology fintechs that help you to see how to do payments. Our main goal, I would say, in Zulu, is to really do real time payments through countries. So like that's what we are trying to build. So we are getting licenses, we are getting a lot of things that we need in the payments. We are learning a lot of how the payments work in different countries, because in Europe is different than as in the US, in Colombia is different as in the US. So that's the way I think.
and for our audience, who, like, to get a more concrete example, like, who are your customers that are using your payments?
For example, we have software companies that are like they are based in the US, but they have like the like older team in Latin America. So they need a key to like collect the payments of what you're doing, what they are selling here in the US, or they have to pay like the payroll Colombia. So we have a company that it was like 10 years paying a wire for every single other yeah other FPs. So we we say that we say to the client like, you can just like not paying that.
Yeah.
You don't have to that's ridiculous. And he's saving like 25K per year just using the infrastructure of Zulu. We also work with small entrepreneurs that are trying to like sell things in the US, for example. So like we have a client that is trying to sell bells in the US. So we help them with the collection in our accounts, and then we bring it back the money to Colombia. Or in the other way. So like I need to pay a marketing agency in the US. I need to pay a marketing agency in I don't know, in Europe. So we help them with their payment. What happened? The banking system in Latin America is not a good banking system for small and medium sized businesses. They just want like the big clients out there. They call the training desk. I have 5 million. I have 10 millions to do whatever I want. But when it comes smaller businesses, they don't have like good prices. They don't not going to have like a good customer services. So we saw that there is a big market for us in that way. So like you're calling, we're every day with the sales team calling those companies and say like, hey, you can save a bunch of money if you're here. You are going to be like the owner of what you are going to do with your money, because I think that's the big thing in the fintech industry is like you are empowering the people to do what they want to do with their money. So you are not, there's no mandatory to use your cross-border payment through your traditional bank. If you want to do it an alternative like Zulu, you can do it, and it's going to be easier for you. For example, the small and medium-sized businesses doesn't have the money to have like a treasury team. So we help them with the treasury, with all the things that you have to do regulatory when you are trying to put money in the US, because you have to make a report to the central bank. You have to do a lot of clunky things, papers, things like that. And we're trying to help them to like do that easy.
Okay.
So that's the
And obviously it's a very complicated business. Many, there's like regulatory elements, there's technology elements, there's communication and process, customer service. Like how, like if you had to pick like one or two things that differentiate Zulu from other solutions out there, or like what would you think, or would you say?
I would say that in this industry, sometimes you find another competitors that are like processing more money than we do. That they are like, they have like, they're just processing more money. But we saw in the way that when you're in the fintech industry, there is always an illegal like industry that is trying to use you to do your payments, because they're not going to be applied or in the traditional system. But we see like we really need to use this technology for real companies. We're not going to use this to like go to the risky, to like, Colombia has a big background of cocaine cartels and all what the people remember of Colombia is that things. And that still happen. And you have like illegal economy that is always trying to look for you to do their payments. But what we decided is we're going to be part of this world that is near to that industry, but we are not going to work with them. So we're a little bit we're not the biggest players right now in the cross-border payments, but we think that we're going through the right way, through we call it like the proper way.
So you're sacrificing intentionally. You're maybe sacrificing volumes you could get by being more regulatory conservative. Is that a
Sir, that's what we saw. For example, we're not. There is not mandatory that we have like a compliance officer in our team. Because in Colombia you need to have the compliance officer if you are like part of the traditional banking system. If you have a big license, you need to have that. But we decided to have a compliance officer that have like all the background of the traditional banking system, and just like help us, just help us to have like the best customers. We don't have like to be in risk.
When we met, you mentioned that you had been to FinTech Meetup. Can you talk a little bit about your experience there?
Yeah, fintech meetup, it was for us like the best place to like connect with the right people to create Zulu.
Yeah.
So like for us, it's not about like the, yeah. For example, I saw what Nigel Norris, yeah, the beginning of the event.
Yeah.
And it was like incredible because you find like the best speakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like he created Capital One, so like he's like something that you will never met. So when he finally he speaks with you,
Yeah.
we just find him in the corridor, and I was like, hi, it is really nice to meet you. And yeah, and he was a very very kind guy. So in that way, it's incredible the people that you and Fintech Meetup are bringing to the other fintech entrepreneurs. And in the other way, we really find the right people to talk. For example, we talk with investors that understand the cross-border industry very well. Yeah, they're like ex-PayPal, ex-Stride, like people that really understand how to build this.
Yeah.
So we're going to find the correct people to create Zulu, and that's the best thing I see in fintech meetup. Yeah, we talk with great investors, with great partners, and so yeah, we love fintech meetup.
That's great. You know, you studied history, and now you're potentially making history. You know, with building a new business. Are there any things from what you learned in school that you're applying now in building this business?
Yeah, yeah, that's something that I'm thinking all the time. But when you study history, you're not just like learning how the history means, or that you're just looking that happened. Yeah, that's the story of the Chrysler building.
Yeah.
No, you learn how the people write the history and why they write it in the way we're like reading it.
Yeah.
So you're always with a very like how can I say that? But it's like you're always like thinking of how the world was filled.
Yeah.
So why? Yeah, you're always looking for the history and everything, and there is like a historic way to think. So it helped me in this industry because I'm always like thinking about what is happening all the time. So like for example, we saw that the sales team is like always like fighting with the compliance team, and you have in the middle a person that is always like thinking like, what is the history of the sales team and what the history of the compliance team. So like, and in some ways you're part of this team, not just only because we're creating like the best infrastructure or that we're trying to reach, but it's because you are trying to listen what is happening in the team, and you're like going ahead with that. That would say like it's something that helped me. It helped me too that I write very good. I was a journalist too, and that's something that I see that a lot of founders are like always writing with ChatGPT because they are not like, they don't feel comfortable writing an email or writing a good LinkedIn post because they don't have like those skills. And I help, for example, the CEO to write a lot of things, to the other teams to like be more like convincing in the pitch, things like that. So like you're part of the team it's something that is not like countable. I'm not bringing a bunch of customers of numbers or of new deals, but I'm like watching everything and just trying to like help the teams in different way in the communication, to be more efficient. So things like that.
To close it off, like could you talk a little bit about the Latin American fintech environment and like why, there's obviously a lot of energy there. What's going on there, and like why should they look at like an event like Fintech Meetup?
Yeah, I think the Latin America industry, mm, is really big. So like they have a bunch of companies. There is a lot of entrepreneurs because there is a big informal society. So like, and the banking system is for example, in here in the US you have like 4K banks. In Colombia you have like 25. In a country that have 50 million people. Yeah. So you saw that there is a big space to innovate and to bring those people into the financial inclusion. So that's why we use so a lot of fintechs like doing loans, a lot of people's payments, a lot of people, for example, using crypto to help the people to like have in the history of his family his first financial product. That's crazy. Do you see people that their grandfathers they just have like the money on the bed, you know? Yeah, and that's something that happened all the time, and that happened because the banking system is always very, we call it like they're part of a private garden. You know, I don't know if that.
Yeah, like a walled garden.
Yeah, exactly. They're always like they don't want new clients. They just have they don't just want like the good client that you know that they are not bad payers, that they're going to be like the perfect client. But you saw an industry that doesn't have access, and that helps the informality grow. Also, like you see a lot of for example, there is called gota gotas. Have you read it here? But there are like bad people that are like giving loans in the small towns for like really high rates. So they are like they're criminals. They're giving the people money because they don't have access to the financial system. So that's why the fintechs makes very sense in a country as Colombia. And I think that the fintechs and all the tech industry have to be in fintech meetup and in all this like US industry, because here are like the future of what we can do, and you can learn a lot of things that you can apply then in Latin America. So that's why yeah. And in the other way is like you have here a lot of investors, a lot of and you get in touch with a world that is very different in Colombia. For example, I don't know, if you go to the to a yeah to like the QED of Colombia, they're going to make a valuation that it is not real. When you see the valuations that the VCs are doing here in the US, you will have like more hope in your business, because you are not going to like just dilute your participation in the business, and you can have like a very good partner that understands where you have to go to build like to win, to create like the next biggest tech company. So that's the reason we are here in the US talking with banks, going to the events, is that the the US industry see the entrepreneur with very different as the entrepreneur in a country like Colombia.
And then so like what I take away from that is that you're talking about basically an exchange of visions, the in terms of like seeing the vision of where the business can grow from a financial perspective, but then on the other side, where the vision of where this technology can like be applied to like new markets and new manners that hasn't been done before, and like enabling, once again to create history.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Well, thank you so much, Julian. I really enjoyed talking to you, and wish you the best of luck in Paul.
No, thank you for the time. It is great to be here. So like, and it's a honor to meet you and talk to you.
Thank you.